What's good, everybody? This is Miss Composition MC that writes fiction, and we're back at it with a live Black Clover Chapter 323 official chapter reaction and review. So if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit the like, make sure to hit the subscribe so you don't miss when I drop a new video. And let's go ahead and get into it now. This is the official translations, everything like that. Chapter is called Always, and it starts off we got Asta and freaking Lucifero square it off. Asta's headed straight to Lucifero. Lucifero is trying to launch freaking boulders and stuff at him. It looks like Asta gets caught with one coming up from the bottom, which is interesting because it's just all like, even with what Lucifero has been able to do to everybody, he's not used like anything but his brute force. This is really the only time him really using his gravity. But other YouTubers had mentioned it, how even Morris and Dante used Lucifero's magic better than him. It seemed like freaking Dante, I mean, he was making swords, like he was going off. But then we get, boom, I had a kid, and we see Lasita and Libe sitting on this little stone little wall, and she's like, a little boy, he'd be about your size, Libe. When he was born healthy, I was glad. And then we get, boom, back to the fight with Asta and Lucifero. Freaking Lucifero, while Asta's still on the ground, like about to get up, Lucifero charges towards him. And then we get, boom, another flashback with Lasitia telling Libe, but if I'd kept him with me, I would have ended up still in his life, and so I left him. I'm a failure as a mother. And then, boom, we get this back to the fight. It's interesting how it's going back and forth while the fight's going on. Lucifero punches Asta in the freaking stomach, and we get back to the flashback. I can't stay with him. I can't hug him. I never see him again, but tomorrow and the day after, always, 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 I'll always love him. And then freaking Asta, you see, as far as the different points in the five, whatchamacallits, that he still has one that isn't in the circle yet, and he's looking at freaking Lucifero like, wait. And Lucifero's just looking out. It's crazy, like Lucifero's looks during a lot of this has been very, some of them were really dope, but then it didn't like deliver. But I feel like that's all for a reason, which I'll talk about here. And he says, and then he gets a flashback to Sita with him going through her freaking chest and him being like, that blasted, worthless woman, the one who got in my way, she's and it stops. Now, it's funny because of the French translations, they called her a B word, and I was just all like, yo, this whole thing was about to be Will Smith and Chris Rock. Keep my mom's name out your motherfucking mouth. But you see Asta freaking bleak, cut off another of his horns. Lucifero is just trying to hit him with that clean, and Asta's just like, nah, son, I'm the main protagonist, Boom, cuts off his eye, and it's crazy because it almost looks like a 3D type of thing. And at first, when I first saw it, I was kind of debating. I was just like, is that just the way that it was drawn, or is that his literal hand flying out towards the paddle and everything like that? Because it almost looks like it was like extended you know, but nah, he chopped them off. And then we get another panel. We're just seeing Lucifero parts flying everywhere. Asta's not playing around. Eddie's got the freaking katana, so he's just going in. And then Asta's just like, "You're the one who's worthless." And then, shriek! After chopping off his freaking arms, slices him down to freaking from here to here. And that dope stance, that freaking that slasher freaking. Then he cuts him. Whoosh. Yeah, I was just all like, yo, this whole time though, like Lucifero is just more like, is this even really happening versus it hurting? And then we see, boom, the fifth one. Boom, time's up. They fall out of union while freaking Lucifero's dropping like beat flesh falling out the sky and stuff like that. And his mouth is on the ground. That joint is crazy. And then we get this dope look of Asta and Libe. And Libe's not in his chibi form, which I think is very interesting. We need to see what the chibi version means with everything. You know, like, how does he get to kind of choose that aspect of himself? But they're literally, and Asta's got the freaking thing around his neck, which is interesting. They said, we're gonna live and be happy. Now, oh man, this is, you know, some people are just all like, yo, Lucifero getting done it like this, like, you know, underwhelming and everything like that. There's a lot of talk as far as the community with as far as the main villains and all this, but I feel like all this is because it is about to get real. Like, I really think it's about to get very real here in a second. There's a lot of things we have to take into consideration, but before we do, let's actually go through this chapter. I personally like the chapter. We got some confirmation why she left Asta, and that is officially like his mom. I know it was speculated, but now we got confirmation that is for sure him. You know, the other thing, the fighting in between this was super dope. Asta being a complete badass, I thought was dope. Even the pair going back and forth between the flashbacks and the fight itself. So with Lucifero knowing that Asta is, you know, the Cetia's son, I feel like Asta does know, because one thing that I was taking into consideration is that when they're talking in union, there's not a distinguish between the two, and it just so happens that they two were sons of, you know, what's her face. So I thought that was interesting, because the dialogue would make you think, and it's just all like, well, if Asta's finding it out, shouldn't he have more of an emotional response or trigger to this or something like that? Even with back in the, you know, other chapter where it's just where he was saying that, you know, how dare you do that to my partner's mom? They're in union, you know, so it's like they're both saying that. So I'm thinking there may get some clarification before I go into chapter 329 predictions. What else? Yeah, the fight was dope. Him chopping up Lucifero was super dope. Even Asta's stances in it, he was going in. Now, lots of things that are interesting. It's been a while since we've seen these recent chapters without Adramelic, which I thought was very interesting for this chapter. Also, in all of the stuff that's going on, like, there was no other character, even Noct and Yami, who just got impaled, like, they were nowhere to be found. And that can be easily maybe understood through the fact that they, you know, was going at each other, maybe moved a ways from where they originally was. So there's that. But the big elephant in the room is, you know, is Lucifero, is this the end of Lucifero? Which I don't think so. A lot of things worry me. Asta, in particular, he's pushed his body way past regular, you know. So where's that gonna leave him, and how vulnerable are they? I mean, Lucifero did just made 2 new sets of arms that impale Nyami. What's stopping him from doing that to them? You know, like, that's the things that we have to take into consideration with all this. On top of all of that, pretty much everyone is pooped out of mana. How is everybody gonna get healed? What I feel like is I feel like just on the first run through with the official words and everything like that, I'm gonna do 3 different predictions. First prediction is Aldramelech comes through, and this is his time to take Lucifero's spot, at least temporarily. Because him being the king of devils, I don't think this is the last of him. So I feel like there's gonna be something with that. The next thing that I'm thinking may end up happening is this might be one of the most important chapters, chapter 329. Either that or possibly 333. And reason being is because there's lots of things that have just went down. We've got the Dark Triad and, you know, Boris, now Lucifero. Where's the 4th Zagrata sibling? You know, there's way too much that is just like, So that's why I'm not really going in on this chapter, because I feel like it's setting something up way bigger. I feel like with my second prediction, I feel like Asta may die. Like, for real. You know, the third thing that I think may end up happening is we may get kind of like I wouldn't say a cool down chapter, but there may be some type of divine intervention, because I feel like Lucifero still may go on like a rampage of some sort, or he may be able to pull himself back together. I mean, he's the accumulation of a bunch of demons, you know, but it could go in a lot of different directions, but let me know what y'all think is gonna happen, you know. And my favorite ones, well, not my favorite ones, just any that you know makes sense, I'll put in the next video and shout y'all out and whatnot. But anyways, guys, this is my review. Personally, this was a dope chapter. I feel like this, for one, it's like almost like full circle, but I think it's almost like a false hope type of thing for the good guys. I think this is real, things are really about to pick up here in a minute. But anyways, guys, Miscomposition, the MC, That Writes Fiction. Make sure to hit a like, subscribe with notification bells on so you don't miss when I drop a video. And yeah, we're on the road to 1K. Hit the description for my album Earthship, my cannabis manga style comic, Most Random Manga Ever, and my work of fiction, Ideas of Illusion. Check it all out. Peace.
Being ready for the return to fall. Maybe I should be asleep, but these full moon vibes got me in the deep. Emotional roller coaster strapped in my seat, ready for a trip to find what I seek. Passing through the galaxy into my office, translating thoughts into deep science. Got the sun in my pocket, build your resilience. So when the next winter cycle comes, I prepare with no losses. The world the solo, it's a boss. At the heart of my winter, there's an invincible summer. Invincible summer. Too strong, too strong. Yo, I thought I was a goner. Thought I was a goner. At the heart of my winter, there's an invincible summer. Invincible summer.